Y'all, how many times is Adobe gonna take an L for doing some dumb stuff? I just saw this today. It was an Adobe scolded for selling Ansel Adams style images generated by AI. The late photographer's estate has been contacting Adobe since August and has finally got a response. If you don't know who Ansel Adams is, he's best known for his black and white landscape photos. We're gonna look at a few right now. So here's some of his work. He just has a style, like you can tell something is his. It's giving off Wild West vibes, like photography that was just starting. It's like giving that, it just has its own specialness to it. Like these would be very good to paint. I mean, they just come off so archaic, not in a bad way, but in a good way, right? So now that we're done looking at that, since Adobe doesn't know how to control itself, over the weekend, apparently, someone was selling generative AI imitations of his work, and you can find it as Ansel Adams style. And that's the thing, like, you shouldn't be able to type in a person's specific style, and I know that styles are not, copyrighted, but when you use their name in the style, you're literally trying to be them, trying to pony off of their work, for an example, like even though while I don't support AI, I do know how it works. So if you were to put 70s anime screenshot, now I know that 70s anime has a very specific look to it, and we're not like looking directly, so we wouldn't be taking directly from the artists. I mean, we're taking from all the artists, but I'm doing an explanation here. All of these animes kind of have the same cohesiveness. So if you were to type 70s anime screenshot, we know that while you're not taking from a specific person, you're taking from an era. And I think that if there's anything that's going to be okay, you do that, right? Like, for example, they could have put in and generated Wild West photography, black and white. But they didn't do that because, like, that's why I always find when people ask what style this is on Reddit to be so sus, because they're going to type that into a prompt. And just so you know, if you are on Reddit and you use Artist Lounge or any of those spaces that are made for artists, if someone comes in and types, what art style is this? Just check their account. Most of the time it's an AI bro. Now anyway, on Friday, the Adams estate posted a screenshot to Threads, proving that they used his name in a style. Now, while Adobe permits AI images to be hosted and sold on its platform, users are required to hold appropriate rights or ownership over the content they upload, right? And thankfully, Adobe has replied and removed the offending content, as it should be, because this dude died like literally almost 40 years ago. That doesn't mean that you can just type up his work, okay? It doesn't. And it says here, Adobe stock contributor terms specifically prohibits content created using prompts containing other artists' names or created using prompts otherwise intended to copy another artist. This is not the first time that they've been caught allowing this. They need to situate something in their algorithm or posting so that unless you are like, for example, this happened to Loish, where she found her own work on, not her own work, but AI content generated with her name in the prompt, and it was posted. But of course, she has a huge following, so it was very easy for Adobe to be like, okay, we'll take it down. And the Adams estate had this is what they had to say. Assuming you want to be taken seriously, we purported committal to ethical and responsible AI while demonstrating respect for the creative community. We invite you to become proactive about complaints like ours and to stop putting the onus on individual artists/artist estates to continuously police RIP on your platform, on your terms. It's past time to stop wasting resources that don't belong to you. Perfectly said. And I don't really care about what the president, Matthew Smith, says. I literally don't give a shit. Like, he says he has an experienced team of moderators who view submissions, and as of 2024, he says that he'll just block people who, like, violate the terms of service.
Sure, Jan.
This is not the first time this has happened, and there should be something in place that can just report and remove immediately. You shouldn't be able to look up somebody's name and find their work on Adobe as a prompt. That's why I said, like, AI needs to stay in their own lane. They need to stay in their own lane.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else!
Adobe should have like firefly.com or adobeflyerfly.com, and that should be an AI hosting resource. That's what that should be if people want to do that. I feel like AI is in this place where you need to separate it from human content because it's too much and too often, and it's too hard to find real human content now. So it needs to be separated. That's the only way that I can think of that working. It needs to be separated, and it needs to follow the same guidelines. Oh my god, let me look at this comment section. How far down the page was it made clear that a rogue user on the marketplace, not Adobe itself, created the imaging and sold for licensing? That is not the... Oh my goodness, this person. Listen, Ghost Monster. The problem is that users can upload whatever they want onto Adobe stock. And if it's AI generated content and they put the prompt in, it can just be because they used that person in the prompt. We know Adobe didn't do it, but Adobe is responsible because it's their website. This is not a Section 230 individual. They're responsible for the content they're posting. Oh my god, all of these are like so pro AI comments. They're like, you can't trademark a style. Yes, that's true. But if you're using the artist's name, you shouldn't be using the artist's name and saying, you don't understand. Like, I feel like, yes, you could have typed Wild West photography and not linked to Ansel Adams. Could have done that, but that's not what happened here. You don't need to use copyrighted content, names, and people to get the thing that you're looking for. You just have to be smarter. And I'm starting to think that some of the people who generate content are probably not that smart if they can't figure out what this stuff looks like or do their own research into art history just a little bit. And here we go. They don't seem to object to anyone using his work for inspiration, and probably can object to using his style as a prompt, but using his name to sell the image is what they rightfully object to. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You can't use the name of a person in your prompt, even if you did, to sell the image or to put the image out there. You can't do that. You're literally ruining the artist or photographer or whatever in mind, because this is an issue with branding. You create a brand for yourself as an artist, and then someone can just type in your brand and then say, yeah, this person made that, or it's in that brand style, so you can sell it, so you can make money off of their work. That's like the whole thing. You can't do that. I don't think this is going to get any better, but at least I know Adobe is not ethical at all for their AI, because they pay artists like 50 cents for their pieces or their photos or whatever. But at least they took it down, because I have a feeling that if it was a smaller person who reported it, they probably wouldn't have got it taken down, because Adobe only cares about controversy and getting their name out there. And if people haven't canceled their subscription, I mean, the reason why I have a subscription is because it's $15.99. So unless it's going to stay $15.99, I'm going to cancel, because I don't even need Adobe. I literally use it to make thumbnails. That's it. I could make thumbnails in another program. I could do it in Krita. I'm just lazy. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree that branding should be exclusive to the artist? I mean, I think you guys are going to agree with that, but how long do you guys think that Adobe is going to continue to take L's in public spaces before people start either revolting or making a new something? I don't know. Adobe claims that they're committed to an ethical, responsible AI, but allowing this kind of intellectual property violation seems like the total opposite. What do you guys think? And how would you feel if a massive tech company was profiting off of AI replicas of your art or your creative works without permission? Do you think Adobe deserves all the heat that they're getting for allowing AI knockoffs of Ansel Adams' iconic work on their platform? Let me know in the comments. And if you didn't see the last L Adobe took, feel free to check out my video where is starting to look like a bunch of clowns. See you next time.